You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, I've got your early edition spoilers for September 2nd through the 6th. Sam McCall is marked for death, and Ava Jerome is in an absolute panic. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and as we always do on early edition day, I'm going to first take you through the action happening the rest of this week, and then we're going to talk about what is coming the following week. With that in mind, we're going to dive in with what's ahead on Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. So Anna heard from Carly that Brennan brought her in to lure Jason in, and she promised her she would go try to figure out what he is up to. So Anna does indeed head over to the local Port Charles branch of the WSB and talks to Brennan. She is trying to convince him to help her find Valentin. Now, of course, Brennan knows that Valentin was messing with Sonny's meds. So I think he's very interested in knowing exactly what is Anna's agenda with trying to get Valentin back in town. There's still the issue with the FBI warrant, unless the WSB has managed to take care of that. So Brennan asks Anna, to kind of stop hassling him and, says, do you want to badger me or do you want to try and save Lulu? So he understands the importance of this. And Laura decides something big, guessing it's about Lulu. And she goes to talk to someone and said that the WSB needs to repay the favor. I wonder if exactly what favor, if this is something to do with, Victor Cassadine and that overlap with the WSB, or even like when Dante had been working for them and was basically mind controlled and, things went bad with him and Lulu. There's kind of a lot there. Laura's been exposed to the WSB for a good long time. Tracy goes to someone and says she wants to help with Lulu. Maybe it's being tested to be a donor. Maybe it's throwing some money towards her care. We'll see. We always knew. I really loved the close bond that Tracy and Lulu had after, while she and Luke were dating, and then when they got married and all that. And even when Luke wasn't around, that Lulu and Tracy stayed very tight, because for part of that, Laura wasn't around. So she was definitely, this surrogate mother figure. And I just love when we get reminders of things like that honor history instead of rewrite it like we're seeing a lot of lately, like with this finding a donor for Lulu, because Nicholas got tested and his liver enzymes or liver function test weren't quite good enough for him to be a donor. And they're talking about finding Lucky. Well, Lucky was tested back when Lulu had aplastic anemia as a kid, and he wasn't a match. That was why Laura finally revealed she had been held captive, gave birth to this Cassadine kid, and then left him with the Cassadines. And everybody was shocked. That was when Tyler Christopher first came on General Hospital. So they should already know that Lucky isn't a match. He should definitely know that his sister Lulu, could be dying, but he should not be a match. And if he is, it'd be ridiculous. Complete betrayal of history. Speaking of Lucky, he and his friend, Dr. Isaiah, no last name that we know yet, are getting ready to break out of that compound. It is not a Cassadine compound, even though it's the same set. It looks like there's some kind of dodgy mining operation going on, and this is attached to it. And Lucky is there because some guy named Stillwell, and we don't know who that is yet. We'll see. There's some new casting information that's come out, and I think one of these new guys they've cast may be Stillwell. So we'll see. Kristina reaches out to Jason, and I wonder if she's going to ask him to kill Ava if Sonny won't. Sounds like something Kristina might do. We'll see. And Ava is in protective custody at Jagger's insistence, and she is not happy. And in a promo for Wednesday, she has grabbed up this bag and is just livid. And she's like, "Who are you?" And I wonder if it is Jagger's luggage, the same luggage that Kristina tripped over that sent her out the window. Ava should be very careful. That's obviously very, very bad luggage. It might even be emotional baggage. That's why it tripped Kristina. And it turns out Sonny Corinthos' suspicions were completely accurate That was what the spoiler says, but I'm pretty sure what it means is that Jagger is using Kristina to get to him because Cates comes to see Sonny with an offer that, do this and all the charges against Kristina will be dropped. He wants Sonny behind bars, and Sonny's trying to outmaneuver him, so he and Kristina, neither one, will be behind bars. Thursday, August 29th, Dante and his mom, Olivia, have this very serious talk. He opens up to her. He's very torn about all this. Lulu was the great love of his life in, younger years, not that he's old. And then more recently, of course, he and Sam have this deep connection, love of his life. And it's just all so complicated with Lulu possibly dying and their son Rocco to think about. And it's just messy. He needs his mom. Good for him for going to talk to her. Portia and Curtis talk about what's ahead. I'm sure this is about Molly and TJ. I know Portia is still pretty salty about Alexis, as far as she sees, trying to steal her grandchild. I'm sure there's going to be many more conversations to be had on this. And Kristina is crushed. So there's some kind of setback. I thought it was interesting that at the same time on, I think, Tuesday's episode, when Molly was explaining to Dex how Kristina has always been a mess and she basically sucks all the oxygen out of every room she's in, so that she hogged most of their mom's attention growing up because she was just always all over the place and into stuff. At the same time that Alexis was having a conversation that echoed that with Rick Lansing, Alexis didn't want any criticism from Rick because Alexis's take on this is, I have to focus on Kristina because she's not equipped to deal with a crisis and Molly totally is. And Rick's like, you are shortchanging our daughter and it's no wonder she's upset with you. And if you don't do something, there's going to be a permanent rift. So I'm glad that Molly and Alexis made up, but I do agree that maybe Alexis needs to give Molly some more time. Sonny makes an offer that's very surprising. I wonder if this is going to be a counter offer back to Jagger. And Drew gets a phone call that completely shocks him. So we'll see what that is about. I still think we might be getting a dirty politician story, the sex scandal kind of thing that always makes elections juicy. Alexis versus Jagger heats up on Friday. Obviously, it is about the accusations against Kristina. And Anna is able to persuade someone on Friday. Carly pressures Sonny. Ava is very scared. I don't know if it's of Jagger, of prison, of Sonny. So many things to be worried about right now. And Michael is concerned about Willow. Well, he should be, because she is hot for his uncle. All right, the week of September 2nd through 6th, Valentin seems to be on the way back to Port Charles. When he and Charlotte left, GH said that they weren't gone for good, and it looks like they are going to come back soon. Of course, Brennan and the WSB are protecting him. This Lulu thing is a big issue for Charlotte. Valentin's not going to want his daughter to miss out on saying goodbye to her mom if indeed things go badly. Lucky's shocking return speeds up a little bit. He's got his doctor friend with him. They should be out of that compound soon. I wonder if they are going to rewrite history and have him as a donor match for his sister. Sonny is trying to outwit Jagger while saving Kristina, and I wonder if anybody can get Cates to back down or if he's just going to push it to the extremes until he is recalled back to DC by the FBI. Ava is so desperate to get out from under Jagger's thumb. Maybe she'll go back to Sonny and say, I've thought it over. If she can get a phone or get away from protective custody. I don't know if they let her keep her phone. Molly remains angry and frustrated, but the good news is her daddy, Rick, is staying a while because Rick is repping Heather Weber. And of course, when word spreads of that, everybody in Port Charles that didn't already hate him is probably going to start hating him. And let's be real, a lot of Port Charles always hated him. I love Rick Hurst. I love the character of Rick. He's just so dark and complicated and twisty and so handsome. So obviously he's going to be taking some heat. Lulu's medical crisis is going to get much worse before it gets better, but I don't see her dying since they are recasting the part. Emme Rylan even confirmed that herself. And we are on the countdown to the untimely death of Sam McCall. They fired Kelly Monaco, and I had been wondering, and I mentioned this on the video I did about GH cutting Kelly, whether her liver is going to end up inside Lulu's body. So one of the Soap Opera Digest, maybe, they talked to a source on the set, and a different Soap Opera Network was the one who got the inside scoop on this. And then Soap Digest was trying to get GH to comment, and they wouldn't, of course. And they did say that they heard that the excuse given was that her exit is storyline driven. And okay, except they're the ones driving the storyline. This storyline isn't driving itself. They decided to take it in a direction to kill off Sam and get rid of Kelly. I'm guessing after 20 plus years on the show, she's getting a decent paycheck, and they're bringing in a lot of newbies, and letting her go, would probably foot the bill for 3 to 5 relative, newcomers to soap, up and coming actors, things like that. So we'll see. And I definitely am worried about Sam and the liver, and Lulu. We'll just have to watch and wait. No final air date for her yet. Those are all of our early weekly spoilers. Drop your comments on what you're excited to see. Definitely subscribe if you are not following us. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I'd love it if you came back again. We are here talking General Hospital 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.